Hey guys, Ken here. So if you're a new or existing Amazon self-publisher, I know what you're thinking. AI has completely disrupted the space, and although it's quite annoying, it can also be a good thing. I don't care what anybody says, AI is just a tool, and if you don't know how to use it or you don't even know what good work is to begin with, it's just going to help you pump out garbage faster. But when you actually understand how to use it properly, it becomes a cheat code for creating high quality writing without the hassle or the cost. It just brings our ideas to life faster. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why most AI books suck, and more importantly, how to avoid this slop and create the highest quality writing possible. And another thing is you don't need expensive ghostwriting software to write good books with AI, you just need to understand the workflow and the prompts behind it. That's what we're getting into today, so let's waste no more time and dive right into the process to writing better books with AI. If you haven't been here before, my name is Ken. I've earned multi-six-figure selling books on Amazon, and I've also helped many other people make tens of thousands of dollars as well. And so why are most AI written books garbage? The first thing is, of course, people don't put in effort. They simply put in a basic prompt, get a basic output, something along the lines of write me a book on X. They simply expect AI to do all the work for them and just give them a finished product. They also don't do any editing. They basically don't overview their book at all. They take the output as is and run with it. And everybody knows AI written text sounds AI. We have to go through a very specific editing process to get it right. More importantly, people creating these books don't understand why AI is bad to begin with. They're just creating garbage faster. They don't know what makes a good book. And AI is just going to create that bad book faster if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what to look for. And of course, they're not asking themselves the question, what's the difference between good writing and AI writing? They're not learning to differentiate between the two or learning how to use the tools properly to get the most out of them, which is resulting in a bad book. And so the point I'm getting at with this is I'm not worried. Most people publishing books on Amazon using AI are creating garbage, and they might get some results really quickly. However, their books aren't going to last. And on top of that, the people focusing on using AI the right way, they're going to make better products, and in return, their books are going to perform better, get better reviews, and last way longer. So we're of course going to get into my exact process for writing the highest quality books possible with AI. But first we have to ask the question, what causes AI written books to be garbage in the first place? What do we need to look out for when we're writing our books? The first thing is redundancies. This is nothing new. I'm sure you already know this. This is both redundancies in chapters themselves, different paragraphs that are stating the same concepts and conclusions, or individual paragraphs that are just one big run-on sentence. It's also between chapters. So are multiple chapters basically just reusing the same information, teaching the same concepts over and over? If you can say something in one chapter, why say it in three? Another thing to look out for is lots of periods like this. AI tends to overuse these short, punchy sentences. The reason being is because the grammar and the punctuation of these sentences are very simple, so it can avoid mistakes, and it tends to just gravitate toward them a lot. And so a good rule of thumb is the 90-10 rule. 90% of your writing should be nice flow, proper punctuation, and the other 10% can be these more punchy statements when you need to use them. Another prominent thing that causes AI text to be bad is awkward sentences. It tends to write things that it thinks sound human, but in reality, no human would ever say. A good example of this would be, here's a money situation that no spreadsheet can fully prepare you for. No one is going to use the term money situation. This is actually a real example that I ran into when writing a book. Another example of this from the same chapter I was writing is trying to make every money decision perfectly from scratch every single time is a setup to lose. This actually just makes no sense at all, and I actually had to refilm that a couple of times because I kept fumbling my words. And so it's always good to just look out for these sentences that just don't make any sense. And the simplest way to do this is to just read your text. Too many people just rely on AI to give them what they're looking for, expecting it to have a good output. But when you actually read the text, it's quite obvious which parts sound AI. And of course, the voice and tone. Does your text actually sound like a human talking to a human? Or does it sound like a robot or a textbook? A good example of an AI sentence would be, that is why a simple system helps, period. It gives you a chance to slow down, look more closely, and avoid mistakes that can cost you later. And although this is fine, it can be a bit rigid, and a better way to say this sentence would be, that's where a simple system actually helps. It forces you to slow down for a second, look closer, and catch mistakes before they cost you. It's just these subtle changes that will really enhance our reader's experience. And when they're reading a book, over 30,000 words, over 100 plus pages, they're only going to make it so far with the robotic text, but if you can improve the flow even slightly, they're way more likely to finish the book. When people finish the book and have a good experience, they leave reviews. And so now let's answer the question, how can we actually write better books with AI? Let's go through my exact process that I use to get the highest quality publish-ready book possible. There are three main things to doing this. The first one is we have to understand what to look for. Of course, we just covered this. I showed you the main things where AI falls short with, so now you can spot them and fix them. More importantly, we have to use the right tools. And so I don't recommend using tools like ChatGPT or Gemini. They aren't the best for writing. In my opinion, if you're going to use a normal LLM like this, use Claude. Claude is the best for writing. It just gets the highest quality output and really understands what you're looking for when you're trying to refine it. However, there's another tool that I've been using as well as recommending to my students, and they've been having really good results with it, and that is Write with Spiral. So Spiral is, of course, a writing tool. However, it's built on top of Claude with a bunch of added workflows to it. So the interface is different, as well as how it actually works with you as you're writing is a way better experience. And so it's taking the best writing AI that there is, and basically giving it steroids and making it even better. And the important thing with this is that Write with Spiral is only $25 a month. It's extremely affordable. You do not need to spend hundreds of dollars per month on ghostwriting tools to get good AI written books. And of course, those tools always give you a limit of how many books you can actually create. You just need to have a good tool like Spiral or Claude, have to understand the workflow and understand the prompts. So we're going to dive right into my AI writing workflow as well as my prompting process in a second. But first, let's have a look at Spiral and see what it looks like actually inside, just so you can see if you do want to try it out. But basically, once we're on this page here, you can click Start Writing. You're going to have to either make an account or sometimes it lets you test it out for free. So of course, it looks like any other AI tool. However, there is a few nuances with it. Of course, we can create styles. We can plug in a bunch of writing that we already have or create styles after we've used it to write books. Then when we go to write other books in that series, it's going to sound the same. And another thing that I love about Spiral is when you actually prompt to get your first chapter back, as you can see, it's going to give you multiple drafts. So this is the first draft of chapter 1 for a book on money skills for teens. I was simply going through my entire AI writing workflow as well as the prompts that I use for a new course I just launched on writing books with AI. I will leave linked below if you want to check it out. But basically, it makes it super easy to get something good right away, because now we can even ask Spiral, what do you think is best? Which draft do you think is the strongest? And it's going to tell you draft A is genuinely the best of the three. And that's the one that I thought was good as well in this case. And you're just set up for success before you even start. And if you also pair this with the pre-workflow, so what I do before I start writing my book with AI, which we're getting into in a second, all this is going to add up to the best quality product possible. And of course, the most important thing when it comes to writing better books with AI is having the right process. So let's go through my process now, what I do before I start writing, and the prompting workflow I go through. So my AI book writing process has two main phases to it. The first one is the topic research phase. The second one is the prompting process itself, the sequence I go through. And the important thing is when you nail the topic research and then you nail the starting prompt alongside the multiple drafts you get with Spiral, you're starting off in a really good spot. Most people don't do this, so their first draft is really not good at all. And so they're going through a really extensive process to get it right. And by the end of the book, normally you just have a jumbled mess of redundancies between chapters and just a book that isn't good to begin with. But when you're doing the proper topic research and you're setting the foundation before you start writing, and then you go through the right prompts, it's almost hard to get a bad book. And so starting with the topic research phase, it's super simple. We start with a competitor analysis by identifying the lacks. So read the competitor 1 to 3 star reviews. What are the books missing? What do people not like? And you're going to find a lot of AI written books that people just hate. We just want to analyze the common complaints and big issues with the book so we can improve that with ours. We also want to find the customer wants. So uncover any desires. What is the customer actually looking for? You can find this in the 4 to 5 star reviews. You can look at the best-selling books and see how they're structured along, let's say, the top 3 bestsellers. If they're all very similar, that structure must work. And based on this analysis, we want to find out how we can stand out. So what is our unique mechanism that makes our book better than our competitors? Because if our book is not at least on par or a more compelling offer, there's no reason somebody would click and buy our book. And so we have to remember that people are looking to solve their problem. They're looking to spend money to do so. And they're going to buy the book with the most proof of this. This is both in, of course, the reviews, but more importantly, the overall title and structure of the book. Is it just a simple chair yoga for seniors, or is it a 5 minutes a day full chair yoga guide for seniors to lose weight fast? Always think about how your book is going to sit beside the competitors and make sure it's a way better offer. And what we can do is take all this information, put it into a document, and then run it into ChatGPT or Spiral, and then create our detailed book outline. This is going to be, of course, the table of contents for our book, built around our unique mechanism, so we stand out. We have a more compelling way to teach our customer what they're looking to learn. And this really allows us to just define the overall structure of the book, define the detailed chapters, the summaries of those chapters. So by the time we go to actually write our book and prompt it, we are set up to get a good result. And of course, getting into the prompting process itself, this is the most important part. We will take all the information we just got from our topic research and our book outline, put it in, and then get our starting prompt. This is where we generate the first chapter inside Spiral and get the first few drafts. My second prompt after I get the initial output is to remove the classic AI patterns. We want to, of course, make the text sound human and less robotic. And I'm going to dive into how to actually build up these prompts in a second. The third step is once I do this, I'm going to read and refine. I'm going to read like a reader would be reading the book, not a writer. Put myself in the shoes of my customer. What is the experience going to be like? And I'm going to do my next prompt, which is an analysis prompt. This basically gets AI to overview the text and find the flaws. So we're going to prompt to fix it. We're going to read and make a few changes if we have to. But more importantly, we're going to get AI itself to look over everything and tell us what's wrong. We are then going to apply these changes if they make sense. It's going to identify what's wrong, and Spiral is really good at doing this, and then it can fix it for us. After that, we're going to read and refine again. We're going to do a second pass and improve any flow and make any changes that we have to. The most important thing with AI writing is just reading the text. Most people don't read the books they're creating. They just expect it to be finished because AI wrote it. But like we talked about before, in the issues with AI, you're going to very clearly see the awkward sentences, the bad punctuation, and you can make those tweaks if you have to. And when you read and refine between these prompts, you're going to get a way better end result than if you just let AI do everything or you just put in all these prompts without looking at it. The second step is to, of course, look for those awkward sentences specifically, spot those bumpy or unnatural phrasing, because by now we've cleaned up the text enough where we're going to be able to easily spot them and then fix those if we have to. We don't need any specific prompts for this. We can simply ask Spiral, hey, can you fix this sentence? It doesn't sound right. And it's going to give you a few different options. By this point, your text is going to be pretty clean. We've done an analysis. We've read it and refined it multiple times. We've removed awkward sentences. We've made it sound more human. Now, of course, we have to do a final edit and make sure it is good. For this, we're going to, of course, put it in some sort of editing tool. I recommend Grammarly. The annual plan is like $144, which is pretty much less than the most basic line editing you're going to find on Fiverr per book. So it's well worth it. And they have a lot of cool tools that check for sentence flow and different things like that. And if you pair that with your own eyes, reading the text, it's going to be very easy to spot the flaws. And then the last step, which is one of the most important parts of the process, is comparing your final draft after this entire workflow with your first draft. And so if you go back up and get the first output, compare it in Spiral or ChatGPT with the finished chapter that you just did in Grammarly, we're going to be able to see the improvements side by side, see exactly why it's better, and more importantly, find any last minute things we have to touch up. Because now if the AI that you're using can compare the two, it's going to clearly see that this is a good piece of text, this is an AI text, and then show you the difference, show you where the flaws are in the new one to further refine and optimize it. And so I actually did this exact analysis with the Money Skills for Teens chapter that you saw inside Spiral. I took the first starting draft, I put it in the same document as the finished chapter after working through my workflow, and then asked ChatGPT, can you compare these two chapters? One is the initial draft, one is the revised humanized version. I want to see the difference and ensure I've made it better, and it doesn't sound like AI. I'm only looking for necessary feedback. Keep the summary brief. Both versions are in the PDF. And so I always like to say I'm only looking for necessary feedback because like I said earlier, AI will always spot problems, even if they're not there. So make sure you say, don't make changes if you don't have to, just tell me the actual things that are wrong. And I came back with this response. Yes, the revised version is clearly better. It feels more intentional, more readable, and less like a raw AI draft overall. It has better flow, cleaner phrasing, and stronger transitions between ideas. The revised draft also sounds more aware of the reader, which helps it feel more human, which is the exact thing we're trying to do. The biggest improvement is restraint. You cut some of the more over-explained repetitive phrasing. We got rid of the redundancies from the first draft and made parts of it sound smoother and more natural. Sections like the opening, hidden leaks, and the swipe smart lens are stronger in the revised draft for that reason. And more importantly, it gives you a bit of feedback based on this. So now it can see where you started, where you ended, see how it's supposed to be different, and then say, hey, this sentence is actually still sounding like AI in the new draft. And so this final step really tightens up even further, finds the small holes you might have missed. And I even asked it once again, is it a big improvement from the first prompt? Because I really wanted to see if it actually is better. Can I publish it to Amazon? It says yes, definitely. It reads like a real version, not just a lightly cleaned up AI draft. The newer version has a better rhythm, sounds more aware of the reader, and feels more deliberate sentence to sentence. The first version felt more generated in places because it was more explanatory, a bit repetitive, and sometimes too neat in how it delivered ideas. So basically, it goes over exactly why the first draft sounded like AI and why our final version doesn't. So now I'm going to show you exactly how to build out your own prompts for this writing workflow that we went over. And of course, I will leave the Miro board linked below so you can see the exact process and get that image. You don't have to come back to this video. However, if you don't want me to walk you through my entire AI writing process through Spiral and give you the exact prompts I use and how to use them, I will leave a link to my new AI book creation accelerator course below, and also how to create other things like our title, our description, our book cover, and even our A+ content modules using AI. So they're published ready and ready to go, and you can create the highest quality books possible that stand out from your competitors without spending a ton of time, money, or going through those long revision cycles with freelancers. Once again, I will leave that linked below, but if you do want to build out the prompts yourself that might cater to your specific scenario, let's do that now. And so of course, when creating your prompts, you can use any tool you have, ChatGPT, Claude, even Spiral if you do have it and you want to have as limited tools as possible. But basically the process is very simple. I actually included the image of my workflow below, and then I asked it to start building out these prompts for me. And it of course came back with my first starting prompt. So you're going to do this with every single step in the process, except for the read and refine steps. You can also do this for the topic research part. Tell it what you're looking to get out of the topic research and get it to build the prompt for you. Now you will have to test these prompts out. They're not going to work well right away. So try using them, find the flaws, and make the tweaks if you have to. It can be a bit of a process, but sometimes the prompts do work well right away. And I can simply move this prompt to a document and put all my other prompts in there alongside it, and now have a very clear prompting process to go through. And so if you take only one thing from this video, let it be this, is that setting yourself up for success before you start writing is the most important thing you can do. Do the right topic research, find out who your customer is, what they want, how you can differentiate yourself from your competitors, create a unique mechanism for your book, and put this into a very thorough outline. And when you pair that with the first prompt with Spiral, and you can pick the draft that sounds the best, before you even start editing and prompting to humanize it, it's already going to be better than 99% of the AI books being published on Amazon. Because most people use ChatGPT, they go through none of this process, and they use the output they get. And then of course, when you add in everything else alongside reading and refining it as you go, and doing a final edit with a tool like Grammarly, it only makes sense the book is going to end up high quality. And so that's exactly how you write better books with AI. I hope this helped. Like I said many times, I will leave my new AI book creation course below. However, you have my workflow now. You have the tool to use. Go and build out some prompts, try it for yourself, and see the result you get. That's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe for more no-nonsense Amazon KP advice. See you in the next one.